When inequality becomes normal, a system out of balance. Extreme wealth and income inequality aren't accidents. They're the result of choices that allow prosperity for a few while millions struggle to survive. There was a time when working hard meant getting ahead, not rich, not powerful, just stable. A home you could afford, food without stress, healthcare without fear. But something has shifted. Today, more people are working longer hours, juggling more jobs, and still living paycheck to paycheck. Meanwhile, headlines celebrate record profits, soaring stock prices, and the fastest accumulation of wealth at the very top in modern history. This isn't just a rough patch, it's a pattern. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Picture an ordinary morning. An alarm goes off before sunrise, coffee brewed at home because buying it out feels irresponsible now. A quick mental calculation before leaving the house. Rent due, groceries running low, a medical bill waiting unopened on the counter. This is life for millions of workers across cities, towns, and rural communities. People who keep the economy running. Teachers, warehouse workers, nurses, retail staff, gig workers, office employees. At the same time, often in the same cities, corporate profits hit record highs, executive pay rises, investment portfolios grow quietly, effortlessly, while many workers can't absorb a $400 emergency without going into debt. Two realities. Same economy. Very different outcomes. Here's the conflict at the heart of it all. The economy is producing more wealth than ever before, but that wealth is flowing upward, not outward. Wages for most workers have barely kept pace with the cost of living. Housing prices climb faster than paychecks. Healthcare costs rise whether your income does or not. Food costs more, transportation costs more, childcare costs more, and yet at the top, wealth compounds. Money makes money. Assets grow while labor struggles. This isn't because workers suddenly became lazy, it's because the rules of the system changed. Let's slow down here. Imagine a family choosing between filling a prescription and paying the electric bill, a young worker delaying medical care because the deductible is too high, a parent working full-time and still needing a second job just to cover rent. These aren't rare stories. They're common enough to feel normal. That normalization is the danger. When society accepts that it's reasonable for full-time workers to be one emergency away from crisis, something has gone very wrong. Meanwhile, top earners accumulate massive wealth with little accountability. Tax systems reward ownership over work. Corporate structures protect executives from consequences while risk is pushed downward onto workers, contractors, and communities. The struggle isn't just financial, it's emotional. Stress, exhaustion, a quiet fear that no matter how hard you work, it will never be enough. Here's the turning point, the moment the story changes. This isn't about individual failure, it's about systemic design. Researchers across economics, sociology, and public policy point to the same factors. Policies that weaken labor power, tax systems that favor wealth over wages, rising corporate concentration, social safety nets that haven't kept up with reality. None of this happened overnight, and none of it is inevitable. These were choices, made incrementally, often quietly, that reshaped how wealth is distributed and whose lives are protected when markets fail. Some people argue inequality is just the price of growth. Others say it encourages innovation. Those debates matter. But here's what's not debatable. When inequality reaches extreme levels, it creates real harm, shorter lives, worse health outcomes, less social trust, and fewer opportunities for the next generation. Growth that leaves millions behind isn't progress, it's imbalance. Once we recognize inequality as a system, not a personal flaw, the conversation changes. We stop asking, why can't people just budget better? And start asking, why does full-time work no longer guarantee stability? We notice how society quietly accepts massive gaps between those who own and those who work, how suffering becomes background noise, how struggling is framed as a moral failure rather than a predictable outcome. And we realize something crucial. A system that works only for the top is unstable for everyone. History shows this, research confirms it, and everyday experience proves it. When too many people are pushed to the edge, trust erodes, health declines, democracy weakens, the future feels smaller. This isn't about envy. It's about sustainability. It's about dignity. So let's come back to the core message. Extreme wealth and income inequality aren't accidents. They're the result of choices that allow prosperity for a few, while millions struggle to survive. And if they are the result of choices, they can be changed by choices. The question isn't whether inequality exists, it's whether we're willing to keep calling it normal. Because when a society accepts widespread hardship as inevitable, it stops imagining better and starts defending the imbalance that causes the pain. So here's the question to carry with you. If the system is producing record wealth, but also record insecurity, who is it really working for? And who could it work for instead?